Hi guys, welcome back to another daily tarot card. These are your daily tarot cards for Wednesday, October the 5th, 2022. Today we're pulling from the Beauty of Horror tarot cards. I changed the angle, that was bothering me. So, I was watching Bob Hart's Abishola, and they said be greater than your fear, and I feel like it totally goes with today's spread. We have the 9 of Cups here, and I feel like going with the theme of the picture of the gentleman in the card, it's like it's been bloody. And I feel like these are for people that have gone through divorces, separations, bereavement, or any kind of trial in life where it forces you to move forward. Like they said, be greater than your fear. We're fearful because, just like with this card in here, we don't know what our future holds. It's hard for us to imagine a life moving forward without that person by our side. And that episode really touched me because he's like, having this epiphany moment with his father. And he's just like, I'll always need you, Dad. His dad is passed. And I'm just like, oh, I started crying. I was just like, yep, I'll always need my dad. He's amazing. I know he would have freaking taken care of everything. And I know he's definitely pulling by our side. So with the 9 of Wands, it's like with that fear of moving forward, fear of dreaming, fear of living life. It's like, I definitely said that to someone. I was sitting there and I was transplanting the plants. And I put music on, and I'm like, it's been so long since I sat there and actually put on music and just enjoyed the moment. And I was just like transplanting plants and just listening to music and jamming out. And I'm like, I haven't done that in so long. Like, I don't think I've done that once since Shane has passed. And I was just like, and I even said to them, I said, I felt like I was participating in life, and now I feel like I'm really living and enjoying life. Because you have that survivor's guilt. It's just like, how dare you enjoy life when, someone that meant so much to you is no longer here, that you used to enjoy life with. But the thing is, the way that you honor those people that have gone before us is by sitting there and living life to the fullest as you would do with our here. And we forget that, because we're encompassed by our fear. We're encompassed by our anxiety, our depression, our sadness, our grief. We're like, how can I enjoy this life that once upon a time I was so sad and grieving over? And it's like, you know what? You're done. You're done healing. That part is done. It's no longer serving to you. With Rosh Hashanah, it was the beginning of a new year. So that's what you have to say to yourself. The healing is done. The process is done. We got the world last week, right? That is done. It's time to move forward. We have the magician. It's like you have the experience to move forward. He's about to pull a magic trick and pull something out of his hat. We applaud it, right? Because we're ready to, I feel like the universe is about to bless you in so many ways. Literally last night, it was like you're about to come into a chapter where everything that was taken away from you is going to be replaced. And I tell my kids that all the time. I said, it may not look like how we had it before, but little by little by little, as we move forward, we're making right decisions, things are being replaced. It wasn't our say of what happened with the whole situation with Shane. It wasn't his say either. It just happened. So we have to sit there and have the courage. We have to be greater than our fear and be like, you know what? How we honor him is by living a great life, by sitting there and doing the things that we're afraid of doing. One of the things that my children have said to me, we're afraid of you moving forward. We end up loving this person as much as dad or more so, and then God forbid the same thing happens. But if we live in that fear, putting up with these walls, these barricades, and not letting anyone in, it's like we're missing out on so much. So it's just like life is meant to be lived, and we forget about that. What did COVID teach us? We were so locked up and isolated into our little cubicles. It's like, we forget how to live. We forget how to interact. We're so dependent on our phones, that we forget how to interact with each other. Even before phones, they were showing with the full moon forecast where it was just like the person wrote the letter. It says, do you like me? In a simple 2 boxes, yes or no. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, I remember sitting there and writing love letters to people that I had a crush on or whatever. I'm not love letters, but a crush letter, I guess you would. That was not love. But, you feel these certain feelings, you know what I mean? But it's like, I can sit there and regret those situations. But one of the guys came to me and he gave it back to me and he goes, you know what? He goes, you give that love to someone that's worth, not love, but he's like, give that energy to someone that's worth giving to. And I'm like, you're right. I wish very wise for such a young man, So it's just like, gotta live life to the fullest. We have the Three of Wands, the Three of Swords here. We're in, it's like, but look at the heart. It's bandaged. Very Bride of Frankenstein. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Bride of Frankenstein. I feel like we're growing in life. I feel like it's like the universe didn't carry you this far just to carry you this far. You're learning, and one thing, hold on 1 second, I have to sneeze again. One thing we've learned in life is that, I know someone that used to, a lot of people tried to take me down while I was grieving. And people would sit there and try to put their insecurities on me. So they would sit there, I would feel what they were feeling. Then they were like, now you feel like I feel. Now I feel better and now you feel like garbage. Because that's what they do. They bring people down with them. I'm not doing good, you should be doing good. I feel insecure, you should feel insecure. Because that's what they do. But it's like not allowing those daggers to penetrate your heart. You know who they are. You know what they're capable of. You know what their purpose in life is trying to break you. So you sit there and rise above that. Just don't react. The biggest blessing you give to yourself in life is learn not to react to people's garbage. We have the Four of Pentacles. Stop living in fear. Leave all the fear, worry, and doubt behind. Four of Pentacles has been so strong. Release the fear, the depression, the anxiety. Release all of that. Stop being a participant and live life. Three of Pentacles. For me, I thought this was the Three of Wands, and I very much thought this was like, the universe is like, your ship is about to come in with no harm to none, talking about these things being replaced. But also, it's like, dare to look out on the future, dare to dream. He's sitting there looking out over the ocean. It's like, it's so vast and big and deep and mysterious. It's like, that's what the future is. It's what we make of it. Enjoy these moments while you have them, especially you got younger children or whatever. It's like, it goes by so fast. I sit there and look at my young boys and I'm just like, dang, man, I miss when they were tiny, when we would do arts and crafts and music and, all this carefreeness. School is so strict and, it's like, I understand gaining knowledge, but it's like, they're never, you know what I mean? Like all the history and social studies, like that kind of, we should be teaching our children life skills, how to cook, how to sew, how to clean, how to take care of them, their hygiene, their mental health, how to balance a bank account, how to save, how to sit there and, do groceries, how to sit there and, do different things, and it's like teaching them to be, people that will be functioning adults in this world. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we got to do what they tell us to do, but it's just, institutionally putting them in this institution where you don't go to the bathroom until we say. You have so many breaks. You have a lunch break, what I mean? Because, you're getting ready to go to work and be a functional person in society, which I understand. But at the same time, it's just like, when do we actually get to enjoy life? When does life actually start? I feel like with the Three of Pentacles, I feel like this is the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. So even if your pillar of strength does not come from God, even if it's Creator, Divine, Mother Nature, Gaia, yourself, whomever you get that pillar of strength from, I feel like that's what it is about. Like they said, be bigger than your fear. So starting off with the Nine of Cups, satisfaction, success, smugness, the three S's. Someone's powerful and frightening. Nightmares, a fortune-telling tradition. Says that the Nine of Cups appears whenever you're reading, your wishes is granted. So we were getting the Star. Definitely getting wishes granted. I love this deck, but the book is absolute rubbish. Like, I have to re-glue it. It's falling apart. Beautiful deck. I love the imagery and everything, but the book, they could have spent a little more time binding it. Use glue, for frig's sake. So, the Nine of Wands. So, building up this wall because we're in fear of allowing people in. And, he has one in his hand. And it's like coming to that realization, the bigger I build these walls, It's like, because we're afraid of letting things in. We're afraid of being hurt again. Like they were showing with like, do you like me? Yes or no. What does the world teach you? If you get rejected, you're a loser. That's not true. You're expressing your feelings. They're like, express all feelings. Sometimes we have to filter them, but it's like sometimes just expressing those feelings, it helps you. It lifts a weight off of you, saying it out loud, that realization, you know? But it's just like, am I going to continue to put these walls up and isolate myself from life? You know what I mean? Yeah, it comes with the good, the bad, and the ugly, but that's living. Courage or strength, but at a price. Difficulty asks for help. Definitely, like, I feel like that's going back to the Three of Pentacles. Whatever you believe in, whatever your strength, your source of strength is, you know, your source of guidance, it's like that's exactly what you call upon. So with the Magician, you are equipped with all the combination of elements to move forward. I feel like he's like, where the universe is about to pull something out of here. I definitely feel like, definitely going with the Nine of Cups there, that something's coming in. What is real? What is an illusion? Where is your power? What magic can be performed in your life right now? And it's like these blessings that come out of nowhere, serendipitous. They keep using serendipity, So I definitely feel like, coming out of the blue. We were talking about all these like scenarios here, coming out of the blue and everything, So Three of Swords. So I feel like because the heart has been put back together, it's like, we're gonna sit there and it's like our heart gets hardened, but I don't feel like you would. I feel like you'll still be passionate. It's like I honestly don't want to speak of a place that I'm not in, but sitting there and having that instant connection with someone, and you know what I mean. I feel like it's just being like, you know what? I'm not gonna stop loving. I'm a freaking hopeless romantic. You know what I mean? So it's just like I'm not gonna sit there and shut myself down because this has happened. Yeah, of course I'll be fearful of that happening again. But am I gonna sit there and close myself off to it? No. Clearly, this is one of the cards most people don't want to see in the reading. It speaks of heartbreak and emotional pain, some kind of deep wound. But the current may need to hold on to the suffering for a while before releasing it. I feel like you learn to appreciate what you have, but unfortunately I've always appreciated what I had, but it's just like sometimes some people don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. Right? They always think it's going to be there. They're under that illusion. This will always be here. This will always, be a part of my life, But it's just like, even myself, did I even imagine that? I remember an image I saw, and I told him that when we were sitting out in the parking lot, and I thought it was his dad, and his dad had fallen. But, I think about that image again, and it's like the carpeting, and I saw, face down on the carpeting looking up. And I was just like, that's not his dad. That was Shane. Because he didn't have the glasses on. I thought it was his father. So it's just like the universe told me. They even told me in the summer before it happened. 10 years. They told me we and Shane would only be together for 10 years. And I'm just like, what in the heck? They said Shane passing. And I'm like, I don't wish no harm on him. Not in a million bazillion years. So they were, like, my soul was speaking to me like, wake up. The signs are there. Four of Pentacles meaning. So, like they said, be bigger than your fear. Release fear, worry, and doubt. You have nothing to fear at all. When we go through these situations, yeah, especially with myself being traumatized over and over and over again by these vultures coming to pick the bones. Like, I was even discussing this with someone. I said a lot of the times I feel like people sit there and they talk to you after a time has passed because they want to see if you're still broken. Because a lot of them want to make sure you're broken. They don't want to see you rise up because they know you're a phoenix. You will combust into flames and be reborn again and be bigger and brighter than you were before. It's like, how can we dim your light? How can we manipulate this situation? Because they want you to dim your light so they can shine brighter. Because they won't be able to shine as bright as yourself. So you got to sit there and let yourself to shine. It's time to rise up again. It's time to dust yourself these ashes off, and it's time to rise up again. It's time to come into your power. What is the full moon in? It's in fire. It's in Aries. Fire energy. It's time to embrace that fire energy. Temptations, things that undermine stability. Something fantasizing and mysterious. Like he's on the swing, so like it's like a quote unquote childish thing to do. And I feel like it's like if you embrace your childlike energy, what is so wrong embracing something that gives you joy? As long as you're not harming anyone, what is so wrong of doing quote unquote childish things? Playing video games, collecting things, you know, um, with myself, like I spoke how passionate I was about, doing custom dolls. I would put on music and I would watch this creation take form, something that I could see in my mind's eye taking form. And it's much more spectacular when you sit there and put the time into it and effort because you're just like, okay, how can I manipulate this to look like this? And like you don't even know you possess these skills until you actually have these raw materials in your hand and it's like, okay, I want to make it look like this. How can I manipulate this to look like this and that? And you sit there and take the time to do so. You get to see your creation that you visualize, very Three of Pentacles, come into life. Wasn't I talking about that with the pumpkins? Like we sit there and it's like we do it freehand. And it's like you don't know what you're afraid of what it's going to look like because it won't look what you want. But it's like taking your time, and really manipulating it to make it look the way you want. So Three of Pentacles, and this is where it's like harnessing your strength, getting, like they said, be bigger than your fear. Destruction, wild energy, rebellion. So I feel like that with this, Deborah Silverman was touching on this with the sun in Libra and the moon in Sagittarius. It's just like, you got to be careful of that energy, that rebellion, that angry energy. Sometimes we need to get angry. It's like, when you go through certain things in life, like, I was talking like with me and someone that I know that's gone through the same situation as myself. And I'm like angry at the fact that we're moving on, not moving on, but living on. And it's just like, they're not part of it because, with both of us, they had a hand in their demise. And it's just like, if you for once would have sat there and stopped thinking about yourself and thought for your family, this wouldn't have happened. But, free will, that shadow side can either make you or break you. It's like, do you have control of it or not? People with nothing to lose, So desperate people will try to sit there and take down others. They have nothing to lose because they've lost everything. They sat there and sabotaged themselves. So they'll sit there and try to take down others because they have nothing else to do with their life. They're just passing time until they reach their demise. So how can I sit there and, make my crusty ass sit there and affect others? And you got to realize that they're just taking it on you. They're probably not having a good day, or they're not able to piss at someone off, and they know someone like yourself that's sensitive and empathic and will feel certain situations will sit there and, they can affect you. So you got to sit there and take that, just don't say nothing. Me, I just look out the window now, or I just ignore them. It's just like, nope, not today, Satan. Me and my sister say the same thing. It costs us a lot for our peace, and we're hell bent on keeping that peace. It may not look like the way we want, but you know what? We're not going to be sitting there and And I'm sure anyone that has gone through that situation, it's like you cherish your peace. You're not about to sit there and let someone take that away from you. You work too hard. You suffer too much. You've climbed out of whatever wreckage you've climbed out of. And you're dusting yourself off, ready to battle forward. It's like, I'm not going to just let anybody in. Yes, keep your walls up and protect yourself. But it's just like, those lessons teach you. My kids always sit there, Mom, how come you don't have a bunch of friends? And I'm like, a scenario happened. I'm like, see? And they're like, yep. And I'm like, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to let other people in my life. I said, but, just another, like they're saying, another brick in the wall, right? So it's just like, it is what it is. Another wand standing up in front of me because of that. But B, the Six of Wands, even though this has happened, you still move forward. You're grounding yourself when they're sitting in on the raft. They're grounding themselves in that water. It's an emotional situation, but you choose to move forward. Always keep moving forward. Always go towards the light. What did was it Friday's cards? It wasn't thrown Thursday, maybe Wednesdays. But what did they tell us to do? Keep moving forward. Find your sun, find your moon. You know? They could be literally, when they say find your emperor, find your empress, maybe that's what it is. They talk about that love affair between the sun and the moon. That the sun is so bright that he sits there and he sets so the moon can shine bright. Even though he's not with her, he has to sit there and set so she can shine brightly in the night. So when they're telling you, go outside and find your sun, go outside and find the moon. They're like, find your sun so healing can take place. Maybe that's exactly what they're saying. Go outside and maybe that's what you're looking for. Combination of elements. I talk about this with my girlfriend. She's water, her husband's fire. Water puts out fire, his shadow side. Fire evaporates water, her shadow side. They're the perfect combination of elements. So maybe that's what they're telling you. The yin and yang, the perfect matching of the emperor and the empress. Go find your sun. Go find your moon.